Today we'll be learning about the 2020 Olympic all-around champion Suni Lee. I'll also tell you a little about the Hmong people and how special it is for Suni to be the first Hmong-American Olympian. The Olympics have just finished up, and maybe you were able to catch a few events. If you have, you know that Suni won the gold medal for all-around in the artistic gymnastics. The road to the 2020 Games was very difficult for many Olympians after being delayed a year due to the ongoing global pandemic. Suni lost an aunt and uncle during this time and claims it has made her tougher mentally. Suni is from St. Paul, Minnesota, and it was here that she started competing in gymnastics at the age of 6 at the Midwest Gymnastics Center. She even qualified as elite at just 11 years old, making her debut at the 2016 U.S. Classic. She went on to compete in the Pacific Rim Championships and the World Championships before the Olympic Games. The Hmong are a collection of peoples who speak somewhat related languages, are culturally similar, and have been treated in similar ways both in their original Chinese homeland and in their adopted countries of Southeast Asia. Most do not acknowledge kinship with other Hmong peoples, even those with the most similar languages and cultures. Scholars estimate that there are about 80 different subgroups of Hmong in China, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand, and Vietnam, although there are only 29 distinct Hmonic languages. There are also Hmong communities in the United States, Australia, and France, mostly those who fled Laos and Vietnam during the war there in the 1970s. Suni's parents immigrated to America from Laos. Not much is known about the earliest history of the Hmong people. One theory is that they descended from a population in the Yellow River Valley, and may even have had their own empire in China. Another possibility is that the Hmong were a Central Asian people who began migrating southward in about 5000 BCE. Evidence for the latter theory is largely from Hmong folktales that tell of snowy mountains and half years in darkness. By 200 BCE, the Hmong would become a dispersed people throughout China and Southeast Asia. For the next 2,000 years, the Hmong would continue to disperse throughout Asia. Many would come to America in the latter part of the 20th century as refugees after the American campaigns in Laos and Vietnam. The Hmong allied with the Americans during the Vietnam War and were subsequently targeted by the Communists after the United States pulled out of Vietnam. In 1975, the United States slowly began to accept Hmong refugees that had been living in refugee camps in Thailand since the end of the war. Even as late as 2003, there were still thousands of Hmong refugees being resettled in the United States. Hmong immigrants settled all over the United States, with the largest populations being in California, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Today, according to the 2010 U.S. Census, 260,000 people of Hmong descent reside in the United States. The Hmong-American population is among the youngest of all groups in the United States, with the majority being under 30 years old. To maintain Hmong culture, history, and language, many organizations were created, including the Lao Veterans of America and the Lao Human Rights Council, among others. The Lao Hmong Memorial commemorates the role the Hmong community provided the United States during the Vietnam conflict, depicting 2 Hmong soldiers evacuating a downed American pilot. It was erected in 2005 and lies in Fresno's Courthouse Park in downtown Fresno, California. The Hmong tend to stay in groups where they are with other Hmong. This allows them to share their cultural values and practices together. The Hmong language has 2 dialects, White and Green. They are similar to the British and American forms of English. If you're White Hmong, you can speak the White Hmong dialect and vice versa. The names White and Green refers to the colors and patterns of each group's traditional clothing, but nowadays most Hmong don't limit their fashion to the dialect they speak. Contemporary Hmong do not subscribe to a single belief system. Missionaries to Southeast Asia converted many Hmong people to Christianity, and many more have become Christian since immigrating to Southeast Asia to the West. Other Hmong people have converted to Buddhism due to its openness and tolerance in Asia. However, most Hmong people, both in Asia and the West, continue to maintain traditional spiritual practices that include shamanism and ancestor veneration. Of course, there is much more to learn about the Hmong people than I can talk about today. Check out these resources and the OceanCountyLibrary.org, or visit your local Ocean County Library branch if you'd like to learn more.
Support public libraries. Like, share, and subscribe for more great videos.